Sitili Tupouniua, the Roosters big man, has been told that he can look around in the, Roosters' haste to sign David Fifita. They've got to make one player's got to make way. Angus Crichton was the one who obviously looked like it, being that they're both left-sided. Angus Crichton's come out and said that he'll play second fiddle to no one, and he wants to play on the left side. I don't particularly rate Sitili Tupouniua, so I think they might be moving on regardless. But if you're Angus Crichton, what are you feeling now, and what do you think about Tupouniua being told? Have a look.
Well, I said this, I'm pretty sure I said it last week, but the biggest winner in the David Fifita sweepstakes is Angus Crichton, because he now knows what club has money. Mm-hmm. Because he knows the Dragons have money, he knows the Panthers have money, and he knows the Gold Coast Titans now have money. So Crichton is now in the position where he can turn around and use that as a bargaining chip to the Roosters to go and get a contract, which I don't think he'll get at the Roosters now. Or if he does get it, he's going to have to fight David Fifita and Nat Butcher. And I don't think David Fifita's come down to start on the bench. And, Nat Butcher's pretty handy on that right edge. And I don't think Nat Butcher can play off the bench. So I think he's got a decision to make. And it's a pretty easy decision if I'm Angus Crichton, because I'm picking up the phone to Penrith and saying, I'm about to play State of Origin. Played for Australia. I'm the same age as David Fifita. In fact, I'm a day younger than him. What's doing?
I was pretty certain, as were most people, that David Fifita was going to Penrith. And when I heard he wasn't, I immediately thought, well, Angus Crichton's going to Penrith. And I am shocked that we haven't seen that linked yet. And probably by the time this drops in the morning, we'll probably have that very link after this Tupouniua. I think the Roosters made a mistake here, because if I'm Angus Crichton, I'm saying, I'm in blistering form. I said I was leaving. I haven't signed anywhere, though. How about it? Okay, you had a bad year last year. We know why it happened. This year now, outside of maybe Fifita, he's a form back row of the competition, and I include Kikau in that, who's playing very well as well. If I'm Crichton, I'm thinking, see you later. I'm gone. If I'm Penrith, I'm saying, come on over. It's just too perfect.
You have a look at who he's got to fight at the Roosters for game time. If he wants the left edge, David Fifita, he's as you said, and I just checked out there. He's 4 years younger than Angus Crichton. Apologies, Dave. Thought you were 28 for some reason. Nat Butcher, Victor Radley. He's got to fight those guys. He goes to Penrith. He's got to fight Luke Garner, Scott Sorensen. I'm going to Penrith.
I'm going to Penrith too, and I think.
But I am ringing the Titans and I am ringing the Dragons to find out who will throw out the most ridiculous deal, and I'm leaking that through the media.
Crichton could have some I have no doubt he's going to have some very, very big offers. I know New South Wales Rugby Union they pulled the contract last year. That's
the other thing. I've got no tears for I've got no tears for Angus Crichton. I know he spoke to the paper the other day and he was like, I'm a little bit upset. No one spoke to me about David Fifita. All I know is they wanted to re-sign me, etc., etc. I've got no tears for him, because at the beginning of the year, and all you need to do is go back and Google Angus Crichton Rugby Union, and in January and February he was gone to French or Japanese rugby. And it wasn't until his form turned around and he got back into the team, it was a little bit of a dummy spit because he was playing reserve grade. Now he's back in the first grade team. All of a sudden, no, I want to stay with the Roosters. But the Roosters have looked at it and said, well, you used us as leverage. We're going to go and take the guy, you've probably got 5 years left. This guy's got 10 years left.
Yeah,
well done to the Roosters. Again, though, if I'm David Fifita and I was looking at Penrith and the Roosters and it was the same contract being offered to me, locations aside, I'm taking that Penrith contract. Angus Crichton, you are a Penrith Panther.
Look, it looks right to me, which leads to Sitili Tupouniua, out of the wilderness.
Yeah.
I think the Gold Coast Titans pounce here and sign him rather quickly.
I think he screams St George Illawarra Dragon to me.
A good player. I know he's a little bit down on form, but he's a bloke.
The problem with Sitili Tupouniua is he's made a career running the suicide line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He literally runs those hard edge angles, and he gets the ball pelted at him. So he makes a lot of errors. I think he needs to sort of take a step back from that and have a look at the other guy who's playing at the Dragons and sort of be more like Jaden Sewer rather than just being like crazy crash play, hope you catch the ball and fall over the line. I think he's a really good player. Defensively, he's a little bit shaky and his hands let him down, but tremendous player. I don't quite see the need on the Gold Coast for him. I think the Titans may be kicking themselves of pulling out of the race for Finafuiaki and allowing him to go to the Dolphins. But Tupouniua just screams St George Illawarra Dragon player to me.
That's fair. We'll keep an eye on that. There's going to be a few players linked to the Titans in the next few weeks, given that they got a bit of money because of the aforementioned Fafita.